Thanks for watching once again. You're listening to Vol, and we're on to Game 3 of the Steamroller event carrying on from Saturday and Sunday of Easter weekend in Hamilton for NATCON. Now, I've picked Harbinger for this list, and I'm up against my friend Chris Baker with his Mercenaries. You might remember our encounter in the Highlander event featuring P. Severius against Durgan, and he's still playing as Mercenaries, but his lists are Durgan and Damiano, and he's opted for Damiano just on the basis that he figured that I probably would not be playing P. Severius and I would be playing Harbinger, so he's gone for Damiano, and his list is very infantry heavy. The scenario is Outflank, Outfight, Outlast, I believe the name is, and we are using reserves, and this will be my very first tournament game featuring reserves. My reserves in the Harbinger list are Daughters of the Flame and a single Paladin of the Wall, and he's using 2 units of Kayazy Eliminators, leaving him a point short. There aren't actually any single point mercenary choices except for Reinhold, which he's already using in his Durgan list. Of course, there are character restrictions. Now, I know that this is going to be a very important game because Chris is probably the top seed for this tournament, as he is in most New Zealand tournaments, just being one of the guys that normally wins. We also have a couple of top seed players coming up from Wellington who are missing, Mike Snook and Sean Lincoln, who weren't present, and of course the tournament organiser for this one, Scott Avery, who normally does very well, not playing either. So this is probably going to be the toughest game that I'll face during the weekend section. The next photo, I managed to win the first turn, which is very important, moving the Errants up behind the wall here, and I'm up against Croes Cutthroats, and the problem is that although they're only Rat 5, he can Deadeye them with Damiano, so the Cutthroats will do a lot of damage with their poison attacks onto the Errants. I'll have to martyr quite a lot if he gets any hits, but thankfully I've got Rhupert with Tough, so if I'm very lucky I should be able to save myself some pain. The general plan here is to send the Avatar into the control zone into my left and basically tank it out, preventing him from scoring any points, and sending everything else around to the right, because the Reckoner is going to be able to link up with the Daughters of the Flame and the Paladin, and I hopefully should be able to put the pressure on in the right-hand flank here, and that's generally the game plan and the strategy for this one. Next photo, just more of a central view photo as Chris starts his turn here. I've got Harbinger right in the middle. She's in range of 10 inches to martyrdom everything, and out of range. I've just checked the measurement, and it's very wonderful that Harby can actually use her 20-inch control range to check that ranged units are out of threat range for her, so that's a big deal. Just by the way, guys, we're playing the little chain link fences as linear obstacles. Even though they don't look like cover, they are going to be counted as cover. Next photo, Damiano and his boys move forward. We've got Rocinante moving just to carefully toe the zone. You can actually see his face just clipping it, so that's what will prevent me from scoring later on. But his Halberdiers with not yet with Death March moving around. He has put Surefoot on Rocinante and moving his Kayazy into the zone at the top of the photo. So a lot of infantry to contest with, but if I play correctly and in fact use the feet in the right turn, should be okay. So next photo, I've moved up to the left with the Avatar, putting down Gaze so that his Kayazy can't simply run away, but Harbinger is feated, so the Kayazy cannot attack the Avatar at this point, otherwise they'll die. Rhoven and his boys have moved around just in case they reposition, and that will allow me to then move in with the Avatar and try and clear guys out. I don't think I'll be able to kill all of them and remove them from the zone because he's running Rhupert as well, and they'll be tough, but in the centre, he's got Croes Cutthroats, which will be able to shoot down most of the Errants, so Harby will be using a lot of martyrdom rolls in case of me failing tough rolls. Luckily I've got the Covenant as well to prevent them from being knocked down after they pass their tough rolls. And coming on from reserve are my Daughters of the Flame and the Paladin. Paladin moving around behind the wall because he's not ready to put up his +5 armour at this stage, but the Daughters moving around so that they are partially within martyrdom range, and what I'm expecting to happen is for him to move into the zone with the infantry so I can clear them out. Now, crucially, managed to get some good luck here by moving the Reckoner up, boosting an attack roll against the Rocinante there, towing the zone, boosting the damage and getting a very high damage roll, and rolling the perfect column to actually take out his Cortex in one shot. And I just can't underscore the significance of that. Really taking out the usefulness of that Jax so early on really puts me at an advantage. So feeling very good about this turn, going into this game with an advantage as of turn 3. Next photo, my opponent just swerving around the zones a little bit. He knows he can't move forward because of Harvey's feet, but still putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models in the zone. 4 of them are Kayazy with Tough, 1 of them is a Croes Cutthroat. So the Avatar will have a lot of trouble killing them all. He's only got so much threat range with his sword, so he can't actually attack them all. In the meantime, the Croes Cutthroat's shooting at the Errants, getting a lot of kills here and forcing Harby to take a lot of damage due to martyrdom. But I do want to keep some of them alive so I can actually take out some of the Croes and prevent them from causing a lot of damage in the long run. So next photo, the Reckoner in the centre of the photo has moved up, charged Rocinante since we knew that he was 12 inches away. Harbinger has used Crusader's Call to give him the extra 2-inch threat range. So with the help of a couple of errants, I've actually trashed Rocinante, which is fantastic. A little bit worried about Rocinante with Warpath later in the game, but not having to deal with that at this point. The Harbinger has also put Guided Hand down on the Daughters of the Flame, which have run across with Crusader's Call and killed several of his Halberdiers. He does have Death March up, so they will be able to move in and actually retaliate. But crucially, I've scored a control point from this zone, which will be very important later. The Paladin has moved around into the zone and put up his Stone and Mortar stance, and the Book has got no knockdown. And at the top of the photo, the Avatar has killed several of his guys and put down Gaze again, so feeling very confident about the situation. Next image, my opponent sees that the feet is down, so the Kayazy Eliminators showing up from reserve and running across the battlefield at a very, very fast pace, and his Kayazy now free to actually move in. He's also got his Croes Cutthroats in the centre, which I haven't really killed many of, moving in, actually clipping the zone, preventing me from taking another point. At the end of his turn, that is, and shooting pretty much all of my errants, losing just about all of my errants except for 1, because Harbinger is either out of range to martyrdom or her health is too low, and he's even starting to pick off some of my choir at this point, so it's going to be a long attrition game with the shooting, but if I can keep clearing out that zone, I might get closer to the win. 3 control points required for the victory. Next photo, in my following turn here, killing some of his guys, losing the rest of my daughters because of vengeance, but he's moved into the zone with his Halberdier, and his Halberdier is kind of annoying at this point because I haven't got any infantry left. He's actually killed all of the daughters with powerful charge from the Halberds and Death March from Damiano. They're very, very high mat. By the way, if you see that big crate in the top left of the photo with the Signar icon on it, Damiano is actually hiding behind that crate, so I can't shoot him. Next photo, the Kayazy hanging around here. The Avatar has just moved around to kill a couple of Croes Cutthroats. I've decided to kill as many Cutthroats as I can as opposed to the Kayazy because the Cutthroats pose more of a threat directly to Harby herself than the Cutthroats do. Sorry, the Kayazy do. Unfortunately, though, with the Kayazy, he's going to be able to trash the Avatar in the long run and actually start scoring control points that I won't be able to contest. But that won't be for the next turn because the Avatar should be able to tank for a while. So next photo, he has actually charged the Avatar with 4 Kayazy, doing a lot of damage but not destroying him, so he will be able to turn around and actually attack them, but it's only going to take them a couple more turns before he is wrecked. And when that happens, I'm going to have to do something drastic, otherwise I will be conceding a lot of control points to my opponent and losing the game. But I'm on 2 control points, mind you, so things are looking fairly tight. Next image, this is the situation. As you can see on top of the barrels, there's a dice marking the 2 for the number of control points that I've achieved. Harbinger moving up and to the right, Rhoven and his boys have moved in to clear the zone of remaining troops. Holt is actually contesting the zone to the left of the Reckoner, and Damiano himself has moved out from behind the box, gone into range of the zone, and the Halberdiers in range of the zone as well. So I still can't get that third control point required to win, and on the left the avatar's about to die. So as you guys can see, if he can stop me from actually killing Damiano and scoring again, and the avatar dies, he's going to score a point every turn, including my turn on the left, and I've got very little that I can use to contest it, so things looking a bit difficult. So next photo, and this is the last photo that I will show you. Damiano is hiding behind a wreck marker. Actually, no, that's not a wreck marker, it's just an icon that represents his feet. So Damiano is camping 6 focus with +3 armor from the feet, and the Reckoner is in range of Aiyanna Holt, and I've got Rhoven and his bodyguards. And the idea here is that I can actually go up and kill Aiyanna Holt and with other guys, and then charge or move over and attack Damiano with the Reckoner on 3 focus. But if I do that, I won't necessarily be able to kill him, and the avatar's about to die. What ended up happening here, because, you know, my opponent had to make a tough decision as to whether to move Damiano in range of the Harbinger or the Reckoner, and decide, you know, which model he stood the best chance of surviving against, you know, either 2 Cataclysms with 1 boosted and a charge attack at power 12, or a Reckoner with 3 focus and no choir. He opted to move it closer to the Reckoner and take that, but it took him about 14 minutes by the end of the time to make his decision, and both of us had been taking very long turns this game. It had come down to a very long attrition game over, you know, 6 or 7 turns at least, and with me on 2 control points, my the tournament organizer finally came around and said, you know, dice down, that's the end of the game. Therefore, I managed to win this game on 2 control points to 0, and I felt like, you know, in one sense I didn't deserve the win, because had the game continued on indefinitely, he probably would have got me, because Damiano, you know, was very tough there. It would have been hard to kill him, and he would have scored 3 control points very quickly with the avatar gone. But on the other hand, you know, I'd played very well to get those 2 control points in the first place. My opponent had actually used, you know, almost his maximum time every turn to figure out how to beat me. And with the game going this long and him picking up no control points at all, even had the game gone on for another 15 minutes, he still wouldn't have got the 3 control points he needed to exceed my 2. And I reckon I would have got the win. So quite happy about this. I'm happy to accept the victory here, 3 wins in a row, and beating, you know, the toughest opponent for this tournament. And we'll see how things go in Game 4, hopefully very successfully into the rest of the day and the next day, so that I can wind up in the final. That'd be wonderful if I could get to the final of the second tournament as well as the first. So stay tuned, it's going to be exciting.